In Modules 1 through 3, we reviewed responder roles, TIM basics, and tools that are at your disposal. Now, we'll focus on first responders, situational awareness, clearance, and recovery at the scene.
The first responder at the scene is typically law enforcement, fire rescue, or road ranger.
When I'm first on the scene, I try to get a visual of what's going on, where my problem areas are, if anyone's injured, if anyone's entrapped or hurt, and to minimize further damage with the amount of traffic that I have coming through the scene.
No matter what your role in incident management, there are some things to keep in mind as a first responder. Always park in the proper location for your vehicle and leave your emergency lights on. Put on your safety vest and keep an eye on traffic as you approach the incident. Assess the victims and provide first aid as needed.
At this point, you assume the role of incident commander, assess the severity, estimated duration, and notify other responders as needed. While other responders are on their way to the scene, set up traffic cones starting with the taper to direct traffic away from the scene. Then assist the other responders in safely assessing the scene as they arrive. As responders from multiple agencies working together at a scene, we support and respect the unified command system. This enables us to safely, efficiently, and quickly clear a scene.
Incident command, depending on the scene, is where you have one person that will be ultimately in charge.
Depending on the severity and the type of incident, fire and rescue takes control of the injured parties. And then Jacksonville Sheriff's Office enforces the traffic and making sure that there's a smooth flow of traffic, as well as FHP, depending on who gets there first. And then if there's already people there, then we just fall in behind and just try to assist the best that we can.
The incident commander is typically the first responder at the scene who can assess the situation, outline the response plan, make informed decisions, coordinate with other agencies, and solicit additional resources. The role may change with the type of severity and incident as the scene evolves. Law enforcement may have the role initially until fire rescue arrives to extricate a victim. Once the victims are removed from the scene, the command role transfers back from fire rescue to law enforcement.
Even though we have a huge engine and other vehicles with lights at the scene, you can't count on motorists to see you as you're working.
It basically comes down to keeping your head on a swivel, because just because you see the traffic flow doesn't mean they see you. Even when you get the lights activated, you're wearing a traffic vest and all. There was an incident again in Matthews Bridge on a rainy night. I was working a crash accident up there, and there was like 7 other accidents happened around me while I was working this crash. So as you can see, we could have fallen the victim of getting hit by a car in a split second. So you always got to get your head on the swivel and look around.
And education is the key, of course. You know, just making sure that everybody's aware. You have to be looking to make sure that you're seeing cars as they're coming. And that people see videos with officers standing on the side of the road getting hit by cars, but then you see those positive ones too, where you constantly see the officer looking back to see what the traffic looks like behind them. I mean, it works. It helps a lot.
You just have to keep your head on a swivel to keep an eye on traffic while you're working the scene. You got to keep looking.
You have to be paying attention all the time as to what's going on around you, because it changes on a second-by-second basis. You know, I mean, there's cars there that weren't there 30 seconds ago. There's all these things. You have to be paying attention to all of this and paying attention to what's going on with the patient.
You've got to keep an eye on traffic and assess the scene periodically for changes. Even if they do see you, they don't always pay attention.
You still have those ones that aren't really paying you too much of any attention, and you can't necessarily go after them to write them a ticket and say, did you not see me here? You know, you need to slow down. So it's just, you just have to be really careful on any scene that you are, and making sure that you're watching what's coming up behind you.
So the faster we can clear the travel lanes and get the incident off the road, the safer we'll all be.
You want to clear the roadway to protect the people. You want to clear the roadway as soon as you can. If nobody's injured, then the next priority is to get that roadway cleared to prevent any further crashes.
What I do to clear traffic lanes is ensure that all the vehicles involved in the crash are drivable. If they're drivable, we will drive them ourselves or ask the driver, if they're not injured, to remove the vehicle from the crash lanes into the safety lane. If it's not drivable, our vehicles are equipped with push bumpers, which we can utilize the push bumpers to push the vehicle out of the traffic lane to ensure the flow of traffic.
If we can free up the roadway and get traffic moving, that's not going to allow them an opportunity to sit in the road. And if that means that I've got to get a tow truck there immediately, or we have push carts on our police cars, if I need a deputy that has a car to get to me as soon as possible, we'll utilize that piece of equipment to clear that road. Our sole responsibility is the quicker we clear that road and obviously get the medical resources to those folks if need be, the quicker we can take care of the scene and take care of those folks and get everything back to normal.
You know how people joke about comparing things to driving by an accident? They just can't help but look. It's not a joke to us because we live it every day.
One of the greatest challenges when we get to these crash scenes and trying to clear the road is trying to get the cooperation from the motoring public. I mean, a lot of them want to look, like I said before, look at us, look at the crash, not pay attention to direction from other deputies on scene or public service aides telling them which way they need to go. They tend to focus. That's one of the most frustrating things that happen on the scenes is trying to get people to listen to you. Because, once again, we're trying to keep everyone safe, preserving the evidence we have to preserve, and get these people around the crash scene safely.
We could be completely off the road, and just the sight of any emergency vehicle will make people look and potentially cause another crash. So even if we've cleared all the travel lanes, we all want to clear the scene as soon as possible.
When I respond to the scene and get all the information that I need to complete my the necessary reports, the best thing to do is once you have the scene cleaned up, is for you to leave the scene, go to a safe location, and sit there and write your report or type your report, however your agency does it. But it needs to be done away from where the crash scene actually was.
You keep the scene time as short as you can, get the patient in the back of the unit, and either pull away and finish your treatment in a safer location, or just go.
Once the scene is cleared, we try to conduct all our follow-up reports and exercises off the roadway with the lights turned off. So I try to find a parking lot close to the scene to finish up my report so that way I'm not drawing any attention to my vehicle or my lights and possibly not trying to cause another traffic crash.
Being first on the scene, keeping an eye on traffic, clearing the travel lanes and clearing the scene as quickly as possible. There's a lot going on and a lot to keep in mind. As emergency responders, you do it every day from many different agencies as one team.